What's up out there in Dude Nation? Monkey Dude 22 here with another video. This is a pretty random video. Some people have asked me, why is your game library so huge? Which games do you have? And of course, can I game share? I'm here to tell you right now at the beginning of the video, I do not game share with anybody, so sorry. Unfortunately, you're going to have to purchase your own games or game share with, your brother or sister or somebody in your house there. But anyway, I thought I'd take a look at the games and apps sections with you guys here and kind of let you know which games I have, which games I've been playing and stuff like that. This is not a video to brag about what I have. This is not a video of any sort like that. This is kind of just to let you know which games I enjoy. And, maybe you see a game on here that you want to see a Let's Play with, something like that. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, I own everything digitally. The only game that I own physically is Disney Infinity 3.0. That's the entire only game that I own physically. So as we take a look here, 7 Days to Die. This is a game that I'd recently picked up. I haven't played a whole lot of it yet, but it's done by Telltale. The guys who do like Walking Dead, Batman, the Telltale series, Back to the Future, things like that. It's a lot of fun from what I've played, but I haven't played a whole lot of it yet. So it's kind of one of those games that I want to jump in. If this is a game that you're really excited about what are you really excited about with it? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Boy and His Blob. This was a game that came out on the Wii, a couple of years ago. I haven't actually touched it yet, but I've heard it's really good, and it's a nice story-driven game, so I'm really excited to hear about that and play more. World of Keflings, it's kind of a fun little game. It came out, it was kind of like this thing where you buy this game, you buy Rascals and a couple other things, and you basically can use different elements of each game in different, scenarios and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. Agent Booty, I'm a big fan of this one. It's a good co-op or slash a competitive multiplayer game. Same screen. You can also do Xbox Live multiplayer, but I found the majority of my gameplay being local co-op and local multiplayer games. So it's kind of a fun game where basically you're out to capture each other's plunder or, their bountiful booties, I guess. I don't know. Alan Wake's American Nightmare. This is one that is kind of is all right. It's a okay game. If you like Alan Wake, this is definitely something to try. It's not like Alan Wake. It's more of a score-driven game than it is more of a story narrative game. So just keep that in mind. But if you're a fan of Alan Wake and love the combat system, this game will be right up your alley. Alien Hominid. Who doesn't like that game? Alien Isolation, huge fan of this game. I think this was kind of my first foray into the Outlast style of games, and after playing this, I went and played Outlast, and oh my gosh, I love survival horror games, and I love the Ellen Ripley story. It's the kid of Sigourney Weaver's character, so lot cool stuff there. Angry Birds Star Wars, it's Angry Birds, not much to say there. APB Reloaded, I played this a lot on PC. Consoles, it's okay. I prefer it on the PC than I do on the console, but I do have it because I do have some friends that do play the game on console, so I have it in for that purpose. Dig Dug, of course, classic Dig Dug, Galaga, Pac-Man. Ark, this is a kind of fun game if you've never heard of it before. It's kind of like Minecraft in a way, except for it's more of a survival type of game. So basically you have to make sure you're eating and drinking water, and then you're supposed to be leveling up your abilities, your skills, your building skills. You can build like all these different like tents and fortresses. You can craft guns, watercraft, things like that. Really cool game. Not a fun. It's supposed to be released sometime this year. But it's starting to look pretty good in the game preview program. So if you're kind of on the fence, I would probably jump on at this point before the price goes up. Assassin's Creed 2, probably my favorite game in the Assassin's Creed series. I still have it installed because I still play it from time to time. Unity, it's okay. Not my favorite, not the worst, though. I'm hoping, for this year to have another Assassin's Creed game with that adversarial multiplayer. I was a huge fan of the one, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was like Templar Hunt, where basically you have one team that's basically disguised as the assassins, and they're basically just kind of mulling around trying to find the people who are basically just trying to hide, and you're just basically trying to be a civilian and blend in with the surroundings. So it's a pretty cool game. Assassin's Creed China, I've touched that one a little bit. Same with India and Russia. These are 2D side-scrolling versions of Assassin's Creed, if you will. So the gameplay is a lot more simplistic, but the gameplay is actually a lot of fun from what I've played. I just haven't had the time to go through them completely. So Astroneer. If you're into games like Minecraft and Kerbal Space Program, as well as maybe a game called No Man's Sky, Definitely check this one out. Now, since it's in game preview, it just got to game preview. It's a little bit buggy, granted, but it is very, very entertaining. In fact, I might do a Let's Play session on this game because it is so interesting, the kind of stuff that you can do. You can actually leave the planet and you can go different planets. You can build on the planet. You build different kind of ships and stuff like that. It's really cool. So definitely check that one out. Anytime you do a game preview game, you actually get a trial offer, so you can play the game for an hour to see if you like the game. If you do, you can purchase it right then and there. But the nice thing about game preview games is you can get in on a lower price than when the game actually releases. Now, we don't know when the game releases. However, we do know it is a Windows 10, Xbox One Play Anywhere title. So if you buy it on Xbox One, you'll own it on Windows 10 PC and vice versa. So keep that in mind as well. Badland, I haven't actually touched this one. This was a Games with Gold game. Pretty interesting though. Looks interesting. I might touch it at some point. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Now everyone's saying this is like the ugly stepsister of the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie games. I thought it was okay. The physics base is interesting, but I can see how like younger kids are not going to get the game at all. But I still like all Rare games pretty much. So I didn't think it was that bad. Banner Saga 2, I need to touch this one. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I need to get the first one because I'm told that if you play the game in order, you get more of the storyline to it. So I'm probably going to wait to get the first one before I end up playing the second one. I believe this one was a Games with Gold title. Baseball Riot, so it's kind of like a cell phone-y kind of game where it's basically you're swiping. In this one, since there's no like touch sensor at all, you use the controller to kind of swing the bat to hit the ball, and you're basically trying to knock out the baseball players, I guess, and basically trying to knock them all out in one hit, kind of thing. So Bastion, if you've played Bastion on the Xbox 360, then you'll know what this is on Xbox One. It's basically a remaster of it. Basically, it's a game that you play where there's basically this little voice that's mimicking everything that you do. So it's a really cool game, a lot of fun. It's kind of hard to talk more about it without spoiling it, so definitely take a look at some videos and take a look at that game. Batman Arkham Knight. By far, Rocksteady is my favorite developer when it comes to Batman games. I've never played a better Batman game than maybe Batman the original on the regular Nintendo. That was a pretty good Batman game, but this one is the creme de la creme of the Batman Arkham series. If you've never played any of the Batman Arkham series, there's Arkham Revisited, I believe it's what it's called, where basically you can play through Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. They omitted the Arkham Origins, which is okay. It's not a big deal at all. But definitely, if you have not played these games, play through Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then Arkham Knight. The story does progress, and you'll get more out of it if you play through in that order. But, I mean, Mark Hamill is the Joker. I mean, he's great. It's a great game. You need to play this one. Battle Islands, it's like a cell phone kind of game. You basically have an island and you're supposed to collect different resources and stuff like that. It's a pay-to-win kind of game, sort of. You can beat it without, but it definitely helps if you throw in a couple of bucks. So, Battle Worlds Chronos. I recently picked this up. I haven't touched it yet. If you've ever played this game and you know more about it, let me know in the comments. Let me know what's really good about it and what I need to take a look at. But I saw some really cool screenshots and videos of this game, so that's why it looked interesting. And I picked it up. Battle Block Theater, another one of those great games by the Behemoth. I mean, what's to say about it? It's kind of an action game. It's definitely a co-op game, so definitely if you have this game, make sure you play with a buddy. It's a good one there. Battleborn, I kind of feel bad for this game because it came out the same time as Overwatch. Well, not the same time, but it was like a week or two before. I liked what I played, honestly, but unfortunately, it was one of those games that got shrouded by Overwatch. So it's kind of an interesting game. Definitely worth taking a look at if you can find it for a decent price. Battlefield 4. This is the first next-gen Battlefield game on the Xbox One, PS4, anything like that. Great game. Definitely enjoyed it. Campaign was all right. I think my favorite Battlefield campaign was Battlefield 3, which, hey, guess what? It's now backwards compatible. So if you haven't played it, definitely try that campaign. But the multiplayer is really good in this game, too. Really enjoyed that one, especially the fact that they had the player-created maps on the PC that they ended up porting over to the console, which was a lot of fun. Battlefield 1, of course, just came out. It's a great game. It's in the World War I setting. So, of course, you got the biplanes and things like that, bombers. This one's probably my go-to multiplayer game right now on the console, Battlefield 1. I do a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege, but Battlefield 1 is pretty much my go-to right now as far as like the online multiplayer and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Hardline, multiplayer was okay. Single player, I didn't really touch a whole lot. I really enjoyed the beta, but then when the game came out, it just didn't do anything for me, the multiplayer. But it was all right. It wasn't that bad. Bionic Commando Rearm 2. We're not going to talk about that one. Bejeweled 2. If you like Bejeweled, then you'll probably like Bejeweled 2 or Bejeweled 3. Ben-Hur, if you're looking for 1,000 gamer score pretty easily. There you go. Beyond Good and Evil. I really need to finish this game because it is amazing of what I played so far, and I just need to finish it. I haven't, though. Highly recommend you take a look at this one if you ever see it on sale. I know it recently was a Games with Gold title, so I'm pretty sure that most people got it through that. I had purchased it way before, but it is definitely something to take a look at. Bike Mayhem 2 is kind of a cell phone game. You go from left to right. You're going over ramps, jumps, tricks, and stuff like that. You get a higher score. Bioshock 1, 2, and Infinite. Definitely Bioshock 1 is my favorite of the series. I think it's because the first time I played it on Xbox 360, the experience was so unique that it was literally nothing like I'd ever played before in my life. I love the idea of the Big Daddy, and I love the concept of like protecting the little sister. I don't know, but for some reason the second game didn't do it for me. I mean, it was all right. Definitely the multiplayer was a pass, but the single player was okay. I mean, you got a little bit more of the story. You got to go outside, underwater, and Rapture. It was interesting, but Bioshock Infinite really brought it back for me. I was really a big fan of the Beyond the Sea DLC. Again, it's a lot of story-driven narrative, so I don't want to give like any kind of spoilers. But if you ever see the games on sale and you haven't played them, definitely take a look at those. Blues and Bullets. Haven't touched it yet. This was a free download. The first episode's free, so I mean, why not? I just haven't had the time to play it yet. Boggle, everyone knows what that is. Boom Boom Rocket. Boom Boom Rocket is... so it's kind of like one of those rhythm games, only you're shooting off fireworks. And basically when the firework gets to a certain area in the sky, you just hit one of your buttons, you know, your A, B, X, Y. So, I mean, it's fun for what it is. Borderlands series, Borderlands 2, Borderlands pre-sequel. Played through the first game, played through the second game, hadn't played through the pre-sequel yet. I do like the Borderlands series a whole lot. I even like the Telltale series, which if you moderately like the Borderlands series, maybe don't care for the gameplay, but you really like the universe, check out the Telltale series. Honestly, it's really, really good, and you probably really like it. Bridge Constructor, it's another kind of cell phone game. I'm a sucker for the indie games. I like the cheap indie games. They're fun to pick up and play for a couple minutes, so that's why you see a lot of those on my list. Brothers, I haven't played this one yet, honestly, and it looks really good, but it's one of those games I just haven't gotten to yet. I mean, you can look from my list. I mean, you see 426 games installed and 79 in the ready to install. I should tell you right now that I have a lot of games that I probably haven't played yet, or a lot of haven't beaten yet. This is unfortunately just one of those. Bully, this is a great game, especially if you know, you're a kid and you're not able to get like a Grand Theft Auto game and you're looking for something close to it. Bully is basically the Grand Theft Auto that was made for like younger kids. You're basically you go to this like Bullworth Academy, and you're basically this kid got bullied, and you basically turns the tables on the bullies. Really cool. Love that game. Burnout Paradise. I love the Burnout series. I hope someday they remake Burnout 3 for next gen consoles, because that was my favorite. I mean, the party crash mode's freaking amazing. I hope that someday they'll do that. Call of Duty 3 is good. A lot of people, I'm sure, who's watching this video has played these games before, so I mean, there's not much really to say. Call of Duty 3 was a pretty good one. It came out the same day as Gears of War 2, so it kind of fell by the wayside a little bit, but it's definitely a pretty good story, pretty good campaign. So if you like the Call of Duty games, you probably like it. Capcom Arcade Cabinet, there's a lot of different games in this, like Ghouls and Ghosts, so it's worth checking out if you like a lot of the old school games. Carcassonne's puzzle game. I'm sure if you know what Carcassonne is, you probably know what that is. Excuse me. Castle Crashers, we have like the 360 and the remastered. If you bought the backward compatible 360 version, or you owned it prior to the remaster coming out, you had an opportunity to get that one for free. So that's why I have the remaster. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a great 4-player co-op game. It's also done by the Behemoth, so if you're a fan of them, definitely check it out. Mickey Castle Evolution. This is a game you can't actually get anymore. They actually delisted it from the marketplace, so there's no way that you can actually purchase this game again. I literally bought it the day before they delisted it because I saw it on Reddit, and so I immediately jumped on it to grab it because I remember playing it a long time ago. I believe it was on the Genesis. But it was definitely a great game when I played it back then. I just wanted to play it again. I haven't touched it yet on the Xbox 360 version, but definitely will at some point here. Castle Storm's a pretty good game. Zen Studios, these guys do like the pinball FX kind of games. So Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I mean, what can I say about that? That's the best Castlevania game in my opinion to date. A lot of people say like Super Castlevania 4 was pretty good. I think it was too. I also like Simon's Quest. I mean, most people are going to hate me already for that one, but I didn't think it was that bad of a game. I actually really liked it. Password system kind of sucked, but I mean, all password systems back in that day sucked, especially because there were so many different variables. That's why the passwords were so long. So, Catherine, this was a game that just went backward compatible. I haven't played it yet, but it was on sale when the last Christmas sales came around, so that's when I had grabbed it. Chariot, this was a Games with Gold game. Haven't played it yet. Heard good things, but I just haven't touched it yet. Child of Light, got through that game. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend this one. It's a 2-player game. It's done by Ubisoft, the guys who do the Rayman series, Rayman Legends. If you like those games, you probably pretty like this game. It has that same kind of art style, so that's kind of what drew me to it. It's definitely worth checking out. Chivalry, it's okay. There is a game that came out. It actually just recently came out on Xbox One. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it's escaping me right now, but I'm sure I'll think about it as soon as I pass the game. But it's essentially like a medieval warfare style game where you have the swords and the shields, and you're just going around on the battlefield just trying to kill people. It's interesting. I can't remember what that name is. It's going to drive me nuts now. Clockwork Tales, Glass of Ink. It's kind of like a point-and-click adventure game where basically you're clicking on screens and different clues and things like that. It's an interesting, fun game so far. I haven't beaten it yet, but I liked it so far. I just didn't have the time to finish it. Comic Jumper's great. Definitely think that's a really good game. It's a lot like Comic Zone. It has that kind of comic booky feel to it. Comic Zone is more of like you're actually playing a comic strip. Comic Jumper is more of like just that over-the-top kind of comic-y action adventure platforming kind of stuff. Contrast is an interesting game. This is like a game that kind of reminded me of like Limbo and Inside. Not as mysterious, not as deep, but the same kind of gameplay. So that's definitely one to check out. Costume Quest 2, I haven't touched that one yet. That was a Games with Gold game. But I've heard the original was halfway decent, so I'm interested to check that out. Counter-Strike, people know what that is. Not much need to talk about that. Crazy Taxi, one of my favorite arcade games of all time. I love Crazy Taxi. It's great. Crimson Dragon. It was okay. It's the spiritual successor to Panzer Dragoon Orta on the Dreamcast. I think it even might have been on the Sega Saturn, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, it's kind of a game where you're just flying as a dragon, going around, shooting things up. I mean, it's interesting. Not my cup of tea, but I mean, it's interesting. Crystal Defenders, I haven't had a chance to really play this one. This is Square Enix. If you've played it, let me know the best parts in the comments. Love to hear from you. Crystal Quest is kind of a cool little arcadey game. Not much to really say about it. Dark Dreams Don't Die. This is kind of a thing like the Telltale series. It's okay. I haven't finished it yet. The story just hasn't grabbed me. The gameplay hasn't grabbed me. There's a game later that I will show you that you will. I will highly recommend this game like crazy. Dark Souls 2s. I mean, play these games and prepare to die. It's exactly what the motto says, and that's exactly what you expect. DC Universe Online is a good MMO, free MMORPG. So if you are looking for some free games, definitely a cool game to play. I have it installed because I have other folks who play it. I don't play it a whole lot, but it's definitely a game that a lot of folks on my list like to play. Dead Island. I was a big fan of these on 360, so I got the remasters when those came out. Dead or Alive. That's probably my favorite fighting game right now. Dead or Alive. I don't know if I necessarily like the way that they sell this game in a package. And oh my god, are there a lot of costumes in this game? I think there's like 500 different DLC costumes you can buy for this game now. It's crazy. But it's still a pretty fun fighting game. And it's free download to play and use. I think it's like 1 or 2 of the characters you can use for free. And then you buy the rest of the characters, or you can buy like a pack where you can get like all of the characters unlocked. So it's cool. Definitely one of my go-to fighting games right now. Dead Rising 2, off the record, 3 and 4. So Dead Rising 1 is, I think, everyone's favorite one. Dead Rising 2 is pretty great. Dead Rising 3, I really enjoyed the fact that you could campaign and co-op the entire campaign. I love that idea and I love that concept. I wish that would have been in Dead Rising 4. Unfortunately, it's a different kind of co-op experience in multiplayer. The single player, from what I've played, it's pretty good. I haven't gotten a whole lot into it because it came out while I was on vacation, and I only recently was able to pick it up, so I haven't done a whole lot yet. I mean, the multiplayer is okay. It's just not what I remember of, Dead Rising 3. Dead Space, this was a Games with Gold game, and I can't believe this was a Games with Gold game because it was so good. If you like those kind of survival horror kind of games, definitely check this out. At least take a look at some screenshots in the video. You'll probably really like it. I didn't really care as much for the sequels, but the first one was my favorite. So, Defense Grid. I can't really say a whole lot bad about these games. Defense Grid 2, if you like tower defense games, Defense Grid 2, this was also Games with Gold, but I purchased it beforehand. Really great tower defense game. There's a lot of variety, a lot of different gameplay elements. It's online multiplayer, so you can do some co-op with it. It's really fun. Destiny is Destiny. People know what that is. I mean, it's done by the guys who did Halo at Bungie. I think when the game first came out and when it was just the game, there wasn't a whole lot to it, and I don't think it was necessarily worth the price. Now what it's out right now, like if you get the Legendary Edition, like the game and all the expansions for like $60, great game. There's ton of content, ton of replay value for $60. It's a grinding game though. It is a grinding game. So if you do not have the time to grind to, just keep killing enemies and killing enemies and killing enemies to get a small increment, little upgrade, it's probably not worth your time. But if you like the Halo type shooting mechanics universe kind of stuff, I would even mix it a little bit with Borderlands. It has that kind of feel to it because of the different amounts of weapons that you can find from like different manufacturers and things like that. It's a pretty deep system, so it's definitely an interesting game to take a look at, especially if you ever see it on sale. Deus Ex Human Revolution. I have not played this one, unfortunately. I've heard so many great things about it. I just haven't gotten to it. I just, unfortunately, just haven't. Diablo, people know what that is. Dig Dug, people know what that is. Dirt Showdown, it's a racing game. It's fun. This was also free, so it's definitely worth free. Dishonored. This is a great game. I played on the 360. I haven't done the definitive edition yet. It was a pre-order bonus with Dishonored 2. It was also, if you purchased the game on 360, you got it for a cheaper price, the remastered edition. I think that's still the case. I'm not sure about that. Make sure you take a look at their website to find out. Disney Infinity. A whole bunch of different toy boxes. I'm going through the Rise of the Empire right now, which is more loosely based off of the classic movies. So, Don't Starve. Kind of like a survival game. It's a lot of fun. It is not a game that I've played a whole lot of, but it's pretty interesting from what I've played, for sure. Dooms, of course, you got your classic Dooms and your remastered Doom, or at least your new age Doom. It's a shooter. You're on Mars. You're killing, possessed zombies and demons and things like that. I mean, it's Doom. If you have any clue what Doom is, you know exactly what these games are. Doritos Crash Course. This was probably one of my favorite free PR games that they ever did, and I'm so shocked they made it backwards compatible, to be honest. It's kind of like Wipeout. This particular one is like Wipeout. You're going from left to right across the screen. You're trying to go through different obstacles and just basically compete for the fastest time. So, Dragon Age Inquisition's RPG, action RPG. A lot of fun. If you like those different kind of games, then you probably like it. DuckTales, the remastered. So I prefer the 8-bit classic the best, but of course the remaster is not too bad. I do like the fact that they brought back the original actors to reprise their roles and redo their voice work for this game. It made the game just that much better to have the original actors in. So like if you remember the original DuckTales series from the 90s, you'll remember every single voice in this game. So yeah. Dungeon Siege 3, dungeon crawler game. Not bad, not bad. Probably not the best dungeon crawler I've ever played, but it's not bad. It was free with Games with Gold, so that's how I own that one. Dying Light, highly recommend this game, especially if you can find it on sale. It's worth every penny. The co-op is amazing. The story is an amazing game. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about the game. Dynasty Warriors 8, Empires. So I got this game because a friend of mine's really into it, and we wanted to play it one day. It was cheap enough, so I grabbed it. It's Dynasty Warriors. If you know what that is, it's basically a hack and slash game where you just kill as many as you can, going through basically killing off the dynasties. That's pretty much it. FIFA, soccer. Earthlock, I haven't played this one yet. It's free. It was a free Games with Gold game, but I hadn't actually had a chance to touch it yet. The reviews were kind of, but I don't know. I don't necessarily trust reviewers. I trust my own opinion. So, Elite Dangerous is a great game. A lot of people have seen these recent videos on YouTube where this guy saw the aliens. He saw it on Xbox One. So, yeah, I'm big fan of that one. I tend to play it more on my PC because I have an Oculus Rift and I do the whole VR thing. So I kind of feel more immersed in the world when I play it in that. So I haven't played on the console a whole lot. But I do have the console version because I do have friends who play it on the console. So Evolve. It's a good game. Great concept. The only downfall that I have with it is a lot of the good characters are behind a paywall. That's my only problem with it. There's great variety in the game, but some of the best characters in the game, they're behind a paywall. I don't know what else to say about it. Fable 2, of course, Fable is pretty good. Fable 3, I was really excited about the idea of being able to control my kingdom. Like, the whole idea of the game is you're basically throwing your brother off the throne and you're going to assume the throne from him. So going through the game, or at least the first part of the game, you help out these different factions, I guess you could call them. They're not really factions, but you help out these different groups of people. And as you progress through the game, you have to make them a promise whether you're going to do this or not when you assume the throne. And that kind of lets you know if they're going to help you or not in the end. But the end game is supposed to be you actually making these decisions that affect the day-to-day of everything. So it's like set up in a 365-day thing, but every single time you make a decision, like 100 days pass. So you really only make like 6 or 7 decisions through like the entire end game before the game ends. So Fable Legends, I have that still installed just because I like to boot it up from time to time. You can't play online. You can't do anything with it. Can't really say a whole lot about it because it was under NDA, and I don't think that's ever released. So, yeah, we'll go with that for right now. Fallout 3, amazing. If you like Fallout games, you love Fallout 3. Fallout 4, same thing. It's an RPG where you're in the wastelands of a nuclear fallout, and you're fighting to survive. You're fighting to progress through the story, as well as in Fallout 4, you're defending your base camp. So it brings a whole dynamic to that game. So Fallout New Vegas, same thing, just in New Vegas. Far Cry 4, played it through about halfway. It's Far Cry. It's pretty. It's a shooter, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Not a whole lot of unique things that I really found in it. Farming Simulator, we don't talk about that game. It's farming, and it's simulated farming at that. Feeding Frenzy, this is free with EA Access. If you have an EA Access subscription, you get access to these games. I've never played them. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of those kind of games, but maybe I'll give them a shot someday. Final Fantasy 15, I need to play this game. I bought it. I wanted to do a Let's Play series on it, but every single time I've gone to play it, I've always gotten pulled away by something else, and I just have not had the chance to start it. But I really would like to at some point. Flockers, it's kind of like a Lemmings kind of thing. So, Forza Horizons are great. Forza Horizon 3 is amazing. The graphics in this game, if you have a 4K TV and HDR and it's compatible, it is the prettiest game that you'll see. If you have it on PC, then you're probably playing it at 4K resolutions and stuff, and you can see it as well. The amount of detail that goes into this game is insane to me. I don't know how they do it. Frogger, you're a frog. You're crossing the road. You're crossing logs. It's Frogger. Fruit Ninja, if you got to connect and you want to play that, it's pretty fun. The best time to play Fruit Ninja Connect 2, drunk. Not gonna lie. If you're a little bit buzzed, you're like zen all over the place. It's pretty funny. Galaga, of course, is Galaga. Gears of War. Gears of War 4. Horde mode's pretty great. I play this a lot. In fact, 2 new maps just came out today, so me and my coworkers are going to play this on Fridays. So, Judgment was okay. It was kind of a prequel to the others, so and it was okay. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, that's just a remaster of the first one. Geometry Wars, yeah, just pick this game up. This game's amazing. It's a twin stick shooter, so you're moving with the left, you're shooting with the right, and you're basically trying to kill different geometry shapes. Yeah, it's one of those games where like you're like, oh my gosh, this is so simplistic, but it is so addicting. You just keep playing it and playing it and playing it. Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime, 4-player co-op game. You're like Ghostbusters, but you're not the Ghostbusters. You're different made up Ghostbuster characters. It's okay for what it is. But if you are wanting to play a Ghostbusters game, play the Ghostbusters game that came out on 360. The one that was actually done by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd. That one is worth playing. And hey, guess what? That just went backward compatible 2 days ago. So that is cool. Gone Home is pretty fun. It's kind of an indie game. Goosebumps, point and click adventure game. Grand Theft Auto, people know what that is. Just kind of skipping through and looking at these different ones. Halo Wars Definitive Edition. It's the same thing as this game. It's just in 1080p, honestly. You know, a lot of people are going crazy over this right now because it's a pre-order bonus with Halo 2. If you've played Halo Wars on 360, it's the same game. It's just in 1080p. That's all it is. Yeah, it's cool to get a free game, but Halo Wars 2 is, I think, a lot better. Master Chief Collection, of course, this is all the Halo games. 1, 2, 3, and 4. ODST, you can also get that as well. Same with Halo 5. Hydro Thunder Hurricane. Hydro Thunder was a great game that came out in the arcades a little bit after Crazy Taxi, but it was about the same time frame. I played the heck out of that game. It was a great racing game. It's a lot like kind of like Wave Race, except for you're actually in the boat. You're not like on a jet ski or anything like that. But it's definitely really good. Injustice, if you like fighting games, DC characters anyway, you'd like it. I mean, it's a good fighting game. It's done by the guys who did Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat X. Yeah. It's a great fighting game. Joe Danger 2, the movie. So, does anybody remember No Man's Sky? This is the game that they made right before No Man's Sky. Joe Danger 2, the movie. Yep. They were a small little studio, Hello Games, that did this right before No Man's Sky. Yeah. So, if you're interested to see what they did beforehand, check it out. It's not a bad game at all. I actually really liked it. Kerbal Space Program. Great game. Better on PC. Better mouse keyboard controls. If you're interested in this game, definitely do it on PC, I think. Cameo, this came with Rare Replay, but I also owned it separately beforehand. So it's good. Killer Instinct 2. Left 4 Dead 2. I love playing this game. I'll play this game any day of the week. If you want to play Left 4 Dead 2, shoot me a message. I will play any day of the week. I'm a huge fan of Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 2. I hope someday they do a third game. It would be amazing. The team that worked on this game actually left and did the Evolve game. So unfortunately, they did not go back to make a third game. But I'm hoping at some point somebody does. Lego games, Lego Jurassic World. I didn't care for the Jurassic World campaign. I literally bought this game just to play through the Jurassic Park campaign. The first Jurassic Park, just to see kind of how it related to the movie. They did a pretty good job at it. I'll be honest with you. It was a lot of fun to kind of play through that. Manual Samuel. If you have a second person with you and 2 controllers, this game is by far the most interesting game I've ever played. So essentially what it is 2 people are controlling one character. And when I say 2 people are controlling one character, one person is breathing in, one person is breathing out, one person is blinking, one person is holding the stick up like your spine, like you have to hold your spine up, like to stand. One person's the left leg, one person's the right leg. It can get so entertaining to watch two people play this game. You can do it single player, but I highly recommend playing it with two people. It's a really, really fun game. Mass Effect. Everybody knows what Mass Effect is. It's a sci-fi shooter, third-person action game. Yeah. If you've never played the games before, what are you doing? Play them now. Mass Effect Andromeda comes out in March, and if you haven't played these games before, highly recommend it. Oh, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. Yeah, what can you say about that one? That is a masterpiece. That is a masterpiece. Hideo Kojima, he just nailed that one. I kind of wish the multiplayer was a little bit more vibrant, the community, because it is a pretty fun multiplayer game. But if you're interested in Metal Gear Phantom Pain, take a look at Ghost Recon Wildlands, because if you like the gameplay style in Phantom Pain, imagine that with 4-player co-op. Because that's what Ghost Recon Wildlands is supposed to be. It's supposed to be 4 players, one person with each different job, and you basically go in and you're supposed to like scout out the base, and then you go in and you infiltrate and you complete your objectives and your missions and you get the hell out of there. It's the same thing as Phantom Pain, but with 4 people. I'm super excited for that game, and I'm hoping that it comes out soon. It's supposed to be out in March, and hopefully it lives up to its hype, because I am certainly hyped for it. Shadow of Mordor. Play it. If you are even remotely a fan of the Lord of the Rings and you like the action adventure kind of building of your characters and skill sets and stuff like that, the most interesting thing about this game is, so basically you're killing orcs, right? So this is Lord of the Rings. You're killing orcs. There are like these boss orcs that you have, and if you get killed by one of these boss orcs, he levels up and gets stronger. When you see him later in the game, he'll be stronger, unless you kill these guys, in which case they keep staying at like a lower level. But it's one of the most interesting dynamics in a video game I think I've ever seen, as far as the enemies are concerned. So definitely an interesting one. Minecraft. People know what Minecraft is by now. If you don't know what Minecraft is, I will question your sanity. Everyone should know what Minecraft is by now. Monday Night Combat. So back in the day, they had Summer of Arcade. It is kind of a tower defense game where essentially you are a soldier, basically assisting in the tower building and defense. So while you're building towers with your money to kind of defend the base, you're also defending the towers, and you're attacking in the other base. There really wasn't any kind of game like it. It's kind of a MOBA style too. Before MOBAs really got popular with like Dota and things like that. Definitely worth taking a look at, but I honestly haven't played it in so long that I have no idea what the community is like in this game. It could be dead for all I know. So I remember back in the day, they used to have trials for Xbox Live games on Xbox 360. So if you have an Xbox 360, you might want to download the trial and just take a look beforehand. Monopoly, everyone knows what that is. Mortal Kombat X, same thing. Guys by Injustice, great fighting game. NBA, people know what that is. NHL, of course, I do my NHL 17 Let's Plays. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, fantastic game, highly recommend. Outlast, great game. Outlast 2. I'll be honest with you, I have not played this demo yet, and the reason is I am a huge VR nut. When this game comes out on PC, I'm doing a Let's Play series on Outlast 2. I want the reactions to be genuine, which is why I've never played the game. I've only had it installed because there has been people that have come and used my console, and they've wanted to try it. But I have not watched them. I have not done anything with it. It is that game I want to play pure for the first time. Overcooked. Great 4-player co-op party game. Amazing. My only gripe is that there's no online. And this is because they wanted people to have that in-person interaction while they're playing the game. So I actually did a stream for Extra Life last year with the Xbox ambassadors, and we played this game. So it was a lot of fun then. It's a lot of fun now. So if you have a lot of folks over all the time, definitely worth picking it up. Peggle, great little game. It's like with that Price is Right game, Plinko. You basically shoot a ball down a chute, and you'd have to try to collect all these different like red bricks in order to pass the level. So Perfect Darks, a Perfect Dark 360. This is the one that was basically on Nintendo 64, remastered for Xbox 360, which is pretty good. Zero, I honestly liked it, but I mean most people didn't. I can understand, but I liked it. Plants vs Zombies. I'm a huge fan of this one, especially the classic one. Garden Warfare is pretty good. Both of them are pretty good. But yeah, Plants vs Zombies. This is my jam. This is probably the best. It's kind of like a tower defense game, but it's not like they go in a zigzag pattern. They only go straight across the lawn, so you're basically putting defenses on the far left, shooting across to the right, to basically kill those different zombies. So, Plague Inc. If you've never played the mobile game, after you're done watching this video, play that game. This is a great, great time killer game. You basically create a virus, you evolve it, and you destroy the world. It's pretty much that simple. Great fun. Portal 2. Yeah, probably one of the best puzzle games I've played in a while. Prison Architect. I play this more on PC than I do on the console. But this is a lot of fun if you like those tycoon games where basically you're trying to, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you're building up a theme park and you're, collecting money and stuff like this. This, you build a prison. You build a prison, you hire guards, you make jail cells, you do all this different kind of stuff, and you make money through these different kind of contracts that you can get. So, yeah, it's an interesting game for sure. And I think it even has a trial. So, Rare Replay, 30 games, $30. If you don't own this by now, you should. Shame on you. Rayman Legends. Yeah, if you got players at home, you want to do some offline co-op, this is a great game. Great for all ages. I was a huge fan of it. Played a lot of it on Wii U. So it's different when you have like the motion controls, but it's still a great game. It's still worth playing. Quantum Break, definitely play that game too. I don't think this game got enough love when it first came out. It made me sad, but I really liked it. Remedy does a great job. Recore is another game that I think just fell by the wayside. I mean, the loading times were long when it first came out, but since they've done these patches, the game is so much better. They added HDR support. The loading times are so much quicker. The gameplay is actually really good. And I think a lot of people just overlooked it because it looked like a kid's game. It might have that kiddie kind of look to it, but just because it's got that look doesn't mean you shouldn't play it. It is definitely a game worth trying. I believe it even has a trial as well now because they were trying to do, trying to promote it a little bit more to get more people to give it a shot. Because honestly, people really like it, but it's just the people who haven't played it who kind of pass judgment on it. Red Dead Redemption, what can I say about this game? This is my favorite game of last generation. When this game came backward compatible, I about peed my pants. This game is the quintessential Rockstar game, the quintessential Grand Theft Auto game that's not Grand Theft Auto. This game is my jam. Red Dead Redemption. I've played through the campaign like 5 or 6 times by now, and I can't get enough. The story is amazing. The multiplayer was even better. The fact that you could posse up with people in like a free roam environment. Basically what me and my buddy would do is we'd hide on the side of a cliff. We'd wait until the stagecoach would come by with these other guys, and we would come up on both sides and basically just hijack their stagecoach and run off. It was so great. So much fun. Resident Evil is what I need to say about that. It's Resident Evil, survival horror kind of game. It's great. Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is definitely a game that people should play if they haven't already. Yeah. It's probably one of the most pretty games of last year when it came out, and just not a lot of people, unfortunately, got a chance to play it, which is a shame. It's a great game. Rocket League. What can I say about this one? If you haven't played it yet, you need to play it. It is highly addicting. I mean, it's crazy in its simplicity, right? So you're basically on a soccer field, and everybody's a car, and you use your car to hit the ball. It's that simple. But they have like a soccer mode. They have like a hockey mode where you have like a puck that slides across the ice. And then they have a basketball mode where you actually have a basketball hoop where you have to bounce the ball up into the hoop. So a lot of cool different kind of stuff that you can do with that. Saints Rows, they're like Grand Theft Autos. They're a little bit more over the top actiony, and kind of just like oddball humor. So if you like Grand Theft Auto, but like a lot more fantasy stuff, give it a look. This one, Saints Row 4, was free with Games with Gold and recently made backward compatible. So, Scream Ride. When this game was first announced, a lot of people thought it was going to be like Roller Coaster Tycoon. So while you do create your own rides, the premise of the game is a little bit different. So it is a game where you create a roller coaster, essentially. You ride the roller coaster, and then you crash it. So if you remember Burnout, where the goal was to get the highest amount in damages, the same can be said about Scream Ride. Essentially, you want to crash into buildings or crash into whatever, and you want to get the highest damage amount. That's essentially what it is, just in a roller coaster format. So if you want to build roller coasters and you want to see some people get messed up, Scream Ride's your game. Slain Back from Hell. This is what I would consider like Dark Souls as a 2D platformer. You level up over time. It's kind of got that Castlevania vibe to it. The soundtrack is pretty amazing. It's like kind of like a rock metal soundtrack, which you wouldn't think would work very well in a game, but this just kills it. Shovel Knight's kind of got that 8-bit kind of classic retro game feel, with a lot of fun. It's like a 2D platformer kind of thing. So, Sonics, people know what Sonics is. South Park, Fractured But Whole. This one comes out later this year in March, unless it gets delayed again. I'm looking forward to that because South Park Stick of Truth was amazing. Battlefront was pretty great. I wish they'd have done a little bit more with the DLC, the season pass, or at least been a little bit forward with what was going to be included. The season pass never went on sale. It only did recently, but at this point, I probably will hold off because I have EA access historically, or at least with Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. The season passes are free now. So you have a feeling that it's probably going to end up being the same thing with this as well. So unfortunately, it was too little too late for me to get that done. So Stardew Valley, if you like Harvest Moon games, yeah, pick this one up. I think it's like $15. If it's even like $20, don't even think about it. If you like Harvest Moon games, if you like the exploring kind of games, there's so much in this game to do. The replay value is insane. It's like the replay value of like Animal Crossing, but then some, because it actually has combat systems. Like you actually will get swords, get pickaxes, get hoes and stuff like that. You can upgrade them. You can go into the mines. You can dig deeper. You can do all this crazy stuff. Highly recommend this game. Oh, let's see. Sunset Overdrive. This is one that not a lot of people played until it won Games with Gold, and I'm glad it did because it really got a following. I'm hoping that they do a sequel to this game. It was one of the best exclusives that I think nobody played when it came out, and that was a shame. This is a really fun game. If you don't have it yet, try to find it on sale because it is totally worth every penny. Oh, let's see. The Escapists is pretty fun. This is like a kind of like the Prison Tycoon kind of game. But basically what it is you spend day by day talking to the fellow inmates, talking to the guards, learning more about the jail. And then what you do is you coordinate a breakout. And you basically execute on that plan and you try to get the heck out of Dodge. And that's pretty much what the game is. They did a Walking Dead game. It's a standalone game. But basically you're playing through the Walking Dead graphic novel. So, I mean, it kind of is what it is. Jackbox party games. If you do parties at all, pick these games up. These games are a blast. You use your cell phone and you connect to jackbox.tv. You sign in and use your phone to play the games. And using the Xbox, it's just kind of on the screen. It's out on like PlayStation. It's out on Steam. It's out on pretty much every platform known to man. But yeah, if you don't have it, it's definitely worth it if you do a lot of parties. Orange Box, what can I say about that? Half-Life 2 Portal, Team Fortress 2. Great game. Even better that it's backward compatible. Stick of Truth, like I said, Fractured Butthole comes out March. This was the previous game, and definitely, if you're a fan of South Park, pick that one up. Oh, let's see. Ticket to Ride. If you like the board game, this is a great video game adaptation. Yeah, it's a great game to play online with friends or even locally. Titanfall 2, people need to play this game, if only for the campaign. This campaign is incredible. I don't think I've enjoyed a campaign like this, since the Batman Arkham Knight series, which that came out like 2 years prior to this. It was like a first year, second year Xbox One title, but I haven't enjoyed a single player campaign as much as I have Titanfall 2 in a long time. Definitely worth checking out. Rainbow Six Siege, of course, I played at. It's pretty fun. The Division, great idea. The execution was pretty poor when it first came out. Since the expansions have come out, the game's gotten a little bit better. The end game has gotten a little bit better. But I have a feeling this is a game that, and I'm sure they're going to do a sequel because it's sold enough, they will execute on the Dark Zone so much better. They were going to do so much better on that game. Toy Story 3. If you like the movie, the game is actually not half bad. I actually really liked it. If you've played any kind of Disney Infinity or kind of seen the gameplay in that, it's pretty similar, but it's better because it's playing through the movie. And I don't know about you personally, I like the movie. So it was kind of one of those games that was a great tie-in. Tropico, I'm a big fan of these games. El Presidente, it's pretty fun to kind of have those same games. There's not a whole lot of them on console. So having one of those is pretty nice. Let's see. XComs, what can I say about those? I mean, it's a strategy game, action game, turn-based. Ukulele, take a look at my Let's Play. I did the Ukulele Toy Box demo Let's Play. It's interesting. It's good gameplay. I'll be interested to see what the game actually looks like when it comes out. But yeah. So let's take a quick look at the ready to install since we went through all of those games. These are games that basically I have uninstalled because I've either 100% completed the game or I just will never go back to the game again for one reason or another. IDAR by 100% of this game. Highly recommend it. It was a Games with Gold game. It's one of those great 4-player couch, versus games. It's even better because if you play with the game connected online, people who watch your Twitch stream, they can use these hashtags and they could screw with your game while you're playing. Unfortunately, I haven't played the game in a long time, which is why I uninstalled it, but it's definitely worth taking a look at, especially if you do a lot of the 4-player couch versus games. 6180 The Moon. 100% of this game, it's kind of a 2D side-scrolly puzzle-ish kind of game. You're playing as a moon, you're going across different platforms to get to the end, which is the sun, but it's just really, really interesting, the game mechanics and how it works. It's hard to describe. Check out a video. I'm sure there's plenty on YouTube and you'll be able to take a closer look at that. Aegis Wing. This was a free game. It was done by Microsoft. It was actually done by a bunch of interns, apparently. And so it's like that typical left to right horizontal shooter. But the cool thing is you can link up as 4 and you can create this giant, awesome battleship where everyone's kind of shooting out their own ways. So it's kind of cool. Air Mech Arena, I honestly, I got it because it was free and I played it for about 5 minutes. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Alan Wake, I 100%ed this game. It's a great game. Highly recommend it. Among the Sleep, also 100% of this game. Probably won't touch it again. It was a great game, even better in VR. Loved it in VR. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It kind of actually makes me sad that I uninstalled this game. It's a great game. I 100%ed it. There's just not much else that I could do with it. I mean, the best thing about the game was just sailing the seas and just plundering different ships, doing all the different kind of missions, doing the diving bell, going underwater, scuba diving. It was great. I just did it. I just did it all, and there wasn't enough anymore for me. It was a great game, though. Back to the Future 30th Anniversary Edition. So this is one that was, it wasn't released on Xbox platforms until the anniversary here on Xbox One. It was out on Wii, and it was out on PlayStation 3 and PC. Which is where I played it originally, but it wasn't out on Xbox until here. So I had to support Telltale in making sure that they keep putting out games on Xbox, and It was good. It was definitely good if you're a fan of the Back to the Future series. In the fourth final episode, you do actually get a cameo from Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, but you get Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown throughout the entire campaign. So this is really good. The guy that they got to actually play Marty sounds so similar. It's crazy. Batman Telltale series, really good. Really like this series. If you can find it on sale for $20 or less, definitely pick it up. It's a great series to go through. Battlefield Bad Company 2, this just went backward compatible. It's in my ready to install because I haven't installed it yet. Basically just came out 2 days ago, and yep. Beyond Eyes. So this is an interesting game. I 100%ed it. It's not that hard to 100%. You basically play as a small girl who's blind, and essentially you're playing through what she thinks she sees until you actually get there. So there's this interesting dynamic where you're hearing all of this noise, and then you kind of like, you get closer to it and you're kind of feeling things out, and then you find out actually what it is. I don't want to spoil the game if you ever play it, but it is definitely an interesting experience for sure. It's very slow. There is no running because, of course, she's blind. She's not going to run anywhere. So it is really, really, really slow paced. But the payoff at the end is great. It's a great payoff in the end. Yeah, definitely worth playing that one. BioShock, so I have the remasters, so I don't have the 360 versions installed. Dragon's Lair, 100%ed it, so there's no reason to have that installed. It's a great game. Just 100%ed it, so I don't need it. Ghostbusters, I'm going to install this one right now. This is the game that I'm talking about, like, you need to have played if you haven't already. Especially if you're a fan of the Ghostbusters, the 80s movies. It's written and starring Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson. They got the entire actors from the original as well as most other ones to do cameos. The only person they didn't get was Rick Moranis to do Louis Tully. But he does have a cameo in the game. So you want to play that to take a look for it. Just search around the Ghostbusters Firehouse if you want to find that cameo. So this brings me to Life is Strange. I am a huge fan of Telltale games. I'm a huge fan of that choose your own adventure kind of style game. If you are a fan of those games and you have not played this game, go play it right now. I don't care what the price is. If it's $30, fine. If it's $40, fine. This game is incredible in so many different ways. The story is amazing. The gameplay mechanics is even better. Because the way it works is you play through the story, and then you might come to a point where you have to make a decision. You can make that decision and then see what happens. But if you don't like that decision, you can rewind time and then remake that decision as something else. But if you rewind and make that decision, something may happen later that you may wish that you didn't rewind it to happen. It is so deep and such a great story. It's by far my favorite story-driven, choose-your-own-adventure kind of game, period. I haven't played a game that's better than this. I can't speak highly of it enough. Definitely, if you're a Telltale Games fan, pick that one up. You will not be disappointed. Let's see what else we got here. Walking Dead. I mean, these are all Telltale games. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of these games, so I play these a lot. Tales from the Borderlands is pretty great. If you like the universe, but maybe haven't played a Telltale game yet, this would probably be a good one to start with. The mechanics were really good. So, but yeah, I think that's about it. We've gone through a bunch of different games. Am I ready to install? And a bunch of games that I already have installed. Yeah, let me know in the comments section what your favorite game was, or if you have any questions about any of these games that I have. Maybe if you have a question about it as far as like what's it about, what's in it, different kinds of things like that. Let me know in the comments section. If you see a game on here that you'd love to see me play through, let me know in the comments section. I'm here to do some Let's Plays. I want to play these games and I want to live stream them. so that you guys can watch and share the experience with me as well. So let me know in the comments section. If you have any other comments about this video and you'd like to see more, please do drop a like and subscribe, as I'll be doing more of these kind of videos in the future. I'm MonkeyDude22 on Xbox Live. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on Xbox Live.